Do you ever feel like something happened and like you just missed it and now like you're in a different dimension? Because honestly, I feel this way sometimes when I see reactions of companies to their products that don't tend to do well. I feel like I've crossed the line. I've fallen through time. Maybe I am living in the land of the lost. Now, if you go back to Land of the Lost 1991, a family's driving down the road. There's an earthquake. They fall into a hole in the ground, and now they're in prehistoric times. There's lots of danger. There's dinosaurs. There's Shun with his slee stacks. There's Scarface, who's like this cool, badass Tyrannosaurus Rex that's like missing an eyeball. But then there's good things there. There's Tasha, who's like your little pet. There's Stink and Krista, who are very helpful. But in this dimension I'm in, I don't have a Stink. There's no Stink because we've come to this thing with entertainment and companies where a company makes something that nobody asked for. Nobody's asked for this. And then it doesn't do well. And instead of being like, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do, it's your fault. It's the fans' fault. It's hate campaigns' fault. And I am so sick and tired of this. I am sick and tired of this nonsense. So we're going to go over all facets of this. I will probably go off the rails with this video. I don't even know how I'm going to title this video and edit it. Sometimes I like to say the title when I'm filming the video to bring everything together, but I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that there's a lot of things I want to say. So when it comes to the types of entertainment that are affected by this, there are two specific types that everyone can see clear as day. The first type would be the type that, well, nobody really was interested in this to begin with. Nobody really had any sort of expectations from this. It's a smaller company trying to do some sort of passion project that they think might resonate with someone. And the other side of the coin is taking something that is an established franchise, something that has a large consumer base, and trying to not pander to that consumer base, not make what that consumer base wants, but instead bring in more people because you're greedy, but you want to bring in more people into it. So you do something that might alienate your core fan base. They might not like it all that much, but hey, you might get some new fans. But when that doesn't work, it doesn't matter because you get both of these sides of the coin always resort to the same thing. It always comes back to one thing. Mean people online said our thing wasn't good. And it seems like there's all these bleeding heart people online that will defend these companies. They will just glaze my face, companies. I want to work with you. Because if you glaze my face, maybe you'll let me work with you. Now, when it comes to examples of these two things, looking at the first one, of course it's Dustborn. Now, this game, I will be perfectly honest with you. I did not know a damn thing about it because that's a game I can look at and be like, hey, this isn't for me. It's one of those weird artsy fartsy games with some, weird story attached to it, probably done by a small team of rebellious youths who really, the punk rock morals. This isn't real punk rock, but, I digress with that. It's usually these sort of off-the-cuff games, not games that are going to get mainstream attention. And you know what? This may come as a shock to you, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind someone making a passion project. I don't mind someone telling a story that they want to tell that's not going to appeal to a mass audience. It'll probably appeal to a small segment of people. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. Not every game is going to be for every person. I think we can all agree with that. The problem is when you start to blame people for your game not being a success down to hate campaigns and people bullying you and being mean about it. And look, are there some people that take things too far? Yes. Okay. There are people that go too far. There are people that are very intrusive and stuff like that. But you really shouldn't even be worried about those people. The people you should be worried about are the people you perceived to be consumers of this product. Because obviously, if you're going to make a game, you have to assume that you are targeting a certain audience. And we keep hearing about this mythical modern audience who wants these more controversial stories with takes from people that see the world very differently than others. Fine. If there's a market for it, it'll probably succeed, right? But then it doesn't. So now we have to put the blame on someone because God forbid we, turn that finger around and be like, hey, maybe I misread the market. Maybe this is more of a niche product. Maybe this is something that wasn't going to appeal to a wide audience. And we did some questionable things within this game that probably won't appeal to a wide audience and could potentially alienate them. But no. You tried to pander to an audience that didn't exist. And your game fails. And now it's consumers' faults. And then let's go to the second one, because I think the second one is just so much more fun. I could give the smaller companies trying to make products that don't do well, that are kind of like fringe beliefs and stuff like that. You know what? I can at least understand that. Because you don't have a player base. You don't have a fan base. You're trying to build a fan base, but you don't have an established fan base. And then we have to talk about the companies that do have an established fan base. And really, one of the most vocal fan bases out there has to be Star Wars. Now, I've said this time and time again. I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy in the world. Love the first 3 movies, like the second 3 movies, never really watched the other 3 movies. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. If I am missing out, let me know in the comments down below. I have Disney Plus. And I guess if I ever die at a Disney park, I'm just screwed. Look, pal, I need my Simpsons. Okay, that is how I fall asleep watching The Simpsons. But the Disney, the people that they're bringing on board to do Star Wars is literally the easiest thing in the world to write. I will die on that hill. Because you have this base audience that just laps up your stuff. Yeah, sure, maybe not everyone likes it. But it's such a simple premise. Star Wars. There's factions waging war in outer space. And there's cool characters, and there's freaking lightsabers, and there's cool fights, and there's dog fighting, and there's over-the-top characters. But somewhere along the way, Disney Star Wars decided, you know what? We need to humanize these people. And I think that's one of the most bizarre decisions. It's something what we saw with Star Wars Outlaws as well. Star Wars Outlaws is a very humanizing game, and some people liked it. Some people liked it because it was that. You played as an NPC in a Star Wars universe, essentially. You're not the lead character. You're just some random person, which that might hit with some people. But for me, I watched Star Wars because of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewie, Princess Leia, Lando, in other episodes, Darth Maul, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, the cool characters, the larger-than-life characters. That's what made Star Wars interesting. It was never supposed to be a story, like, rooted in some sort of reality with, like, deep thinking conscious issues and, social issues being brought up. Like, yeah, it touched on it. I completely understand that. But it was never the focal point of it. The focal point of it was the presentation, the pizzazz, the spectacular sets and scenes within it. And playing a game like Star Wars Outlaws, which I don't think it's going to completely bomb. Let me go ahead and say that. I do feel that it is not going to meet the metric that Ubisoft wants it to meet. Because I feel like internally, they probably want 15 mil. It's a multi-platform game. It's a Disney licensed game. We saw how much, it cost for Sony to do Spider-Man games. I tend to feel like Star Wars is right up there with Sony in terms of IP strength. So it's not like it was a very cheap game. And Ubisoft themselves have confirmed that this game has the largest marketing budget for any Ubisoft game ever. They're putting a lot of money into this. And while some reviewers liked the game, some reviewers didn't, just like any game. But when you actually break down the analytical side of things as to why people did not like the game, it comes down to the gameplay. It comes down to the mechanics of the game. And when you look at something like Star Wars The Acolyte, I didn't watch this show. I wasn't interested in Star Wars The Acolyte. But Star Wars The Acolyte, some people said they liked some episodes. Some people didn't like some of the episodes. You know who actually watched it? Spawnwave did. I was kind of surprised, but when you look at old fat Spawnwave with his glasses, like clearly the dude's a freaking Star Wars nerd. It's just jokes. But John watched it and he was like, it wasn't good, but it was okay, I guess. Like it wasn't the most offensive thing in the world. But the problem with Star Wars The Acolyte series was, once again, they're trying to cater Star Wars to a audience that they want to bring in instead of trying to please the audience that they already have. And what happened with that show? The show flopped. It was not going to be renewed. Some people were upset by that. I really do think some people genuinely liked The Acolyte. And if you are one of those people, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, you, as one person, have to realize that this is a show that has a large budget. There's certain metrics that it needs to hit. There's certain statistics that it needs to do. There's certain reviews that it needs to get. Movies, TV shows, video games, they're all very similar in this sphere. But what happened with The Acolyte? The Acolyte goes under, and all of a sudden, it failed because of hate campaigns. It failed because people online are bad people. And it's a bad audience. We don't want that audience. You don't want your core audience? Jesus Christ. This is like me turning my channel into a food channel and then getting pissed off when I'm not getting the same views that I get on video games. Like, why aren't you watching this? Why aren't you watching this? Like, obviously, when I make a video, I understand that topics that I'm going to make, videos that I'm going to make, and certain topics will appeal to more people than other topics. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because from the perspective that I have, from, looking at my books and balancing my budget, I could have a few videos completely fail and really not lose any sleep over it. I'm not hurting. My margins aren't razor thin here. These companies have very razor thin margins. But the thing of it is like, make something good. Because if The Acolyte failed because of a hate campaign, well, where are all the people that wanted this? Where are all the people that wanted a game like Dustborn and wanted to see this game succeed? Where are they? Why are they not supporting it? Because you think that there is this big audience out there. Well, where the fuck are they? Where are they? And people like to make this a political thing, which is just mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Because I don't think this is a political thing at all. I think people on both sides of the spectrum, whether you're a righty or a lefty, whatever the shit is, two-party system bullshit, there's just people that didn't like these games and these movies, and there's a lot of people that don't like these more modern influence things because it's not what anyone asks for. You're making a product that nobody asks for, and then when the product fails, you blame the would-be consumer, the person that you were trying to get to appeal to this, because they didn't necessarily, they weren't interested in the changes that you made. They weren't interested in the things that you try to do for this. You exist. If you are an entertainment company, if you are an entertainer on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, if you're an entertainment company who makes TV shows, who makes movies, who makes music, who makes video games, you solely exist on a platform to entertain people. And when you get big and you get an audience, yeah, It's fine to want to get other people involved in the fold, but you have to keep your core audience happy, because you know what? They're the ones who allow you to be successful. They're the ones who will support you through thick and thin. Not everyone's going to be that. Every sort of fan is different. Like I honestly feel like these companies just expect every single fan of their product or of their IP to just lap up everything they do, and when they don't, they're like, oh, "How dare you?" That would be like me getting pissed off that every single video that I do on this channel doesn't have 500,000 views because I have over 500,000 subscribers. Doesn't that sound mental to you? People have their own agendas. People have their own things to do. Not everyone's going to rush out to support your product that they might be on the fence about. And like I said, this video was going to go off the rails, but I am so sick and tired of these companies trying to pander to an audience that is so minuscule that it doesn't matter if you pander to them, because a lot of that audience doesn't care about your product. They don't care about your cinemas, your story, anything that you've done. Because if they did, they would have been a part of it beforehand. So instead of trying to please the people who have supported your who have allowed your company to grow to a level of massiveness, of worldwide status, to be one of the biggest IPs in the world, instead of trying to make those people happy, you try to make other people happy, and then you get pissed at the people who didn't support it, and you insult your own fans. And then with the smaller indie companies, you made a passion project. You told a story that you wanted to tell, that you were very passionate about. You know what? I respect that. I respect that. But when the game fails and people make fun of it because the ideas within the game and some of the dialogue within the game and some of the story mechanics in the game are completely just out there and don't jive with a lot of people's mentality and views of the world and views of how things actually are within the world, you get mad at those people? You genuinely get mad at those people. You blame those people for not thinking like you. This is, you know, it pains me to say this, but if I woke up tomorrow and like the entertainment industry just like shut down, I don't think I would miss it. I really don't. I really truly don't. You know, people think that, you know, things are going to get better and stuff like that, but are they really? You know, we've been holding out hope for so long, and there are bright spots here and there, but it's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy. The suits are calling the shots, and the suits want to do what they think is going to appeal to a larger audience. You know what? No one's ever happy. No one's ever happy with things. And I'm not saying content, because people say that being content with something, you know, it becomes stale. You know, you become stagnant with something. And I can agree to that to a certain extent. But when you get to a certain level of success, you can be happy with that success and still want to see it grow. But you're still happy at the end of the day with what you're doing. I'm very happy with my status here. I'm very happy with the amount of money that I make. Would I like more? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? But these companies don't have any sort of joy. They don't have any sort of emotions. They're pretty much just robots at this point in time, trying to churn out material and grow and grow and grow and grow to the point of where you've alienated your original customer fan base, the ones that got you to the dance in the first place. I'm done. Because now I feel like I'm repeating myself. But I don't know, man. This industry is screwed. Entertainment is screwed. You're seeing all the, and that's a story for another day. That might actually be tomorrow's video. If you've made it to the end of this video, let me know in the comments down below. Do you want me to talk about the AAA gaming industry and how it's in a crash right now? Because it's in a crash right now, pal. These games like Concord, the Concord developers, be nice to the Concord developers. They made a game that you don't like, but you gotta be nice to them. Yeah, you don't have to be a dick to them. But if the game sucks, the game sucks. You are here. You are here to appeal and appease to me. Without me, without consumers, you don't exist. Why can't you get that through your head? What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts and feedback in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, I will catch you guys on the next video. I need to calm down a little bit. We're about to play some Black Ops 6. I'm gonna just take some people out. Later.